Currently, the economy is going crazy. Markets are generally unfavorable, cost of living is going up, and money that could be effectively spent on other aspects of life is then used to buy food items for the family. Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine, and then I'll share some tips on how you can save costs in this very tough economy. So tip 1, you need to buy in bulk. Buying in bulk saves you money, it saves your time, it saves you resources that you need to go to the market or supermarket and back. For more details on buying in bulk, please make sure you check out my video on shopping hacks. So tip 2 is more of a cooking method substitute. I'm sure many of you have been to the supermarket recently and you've observed that a 5-liter can of vegetable oil is going for about 10,000 naira. So think of your favorite food item. Mine is actually fried plantains. You already know the amount of oil you will need to deep fry your plantain. So the first alternative cooking method I have for you is shallow frying. So instead of deep frying your plantains, your yams, or your potatoes, you can start with shallow frying, which is using way less quantities of oil to cook or to fry your plantain. So the second alternative will be to air fry. So to air fry, you need about a tablespoon of vegetable oil just to give it some extra crispness and some brownness in the air fryer. And then if you also do like large batches of cooking where you have like lots of chicken, lots of beef, what you can do is instead of frying your beef or frying your chicken, you can actually put it in the oven to grill and it comes out equally as nice. This way you have saved a ton of money on having to buy a 10,000 naira can of vegetable oil. And if you're health conscious, you have also improved your health by consuming less oil and you have reduced the amount of calories you consume. As we all know, gas prices are fluctuating. Tomorrow it is 11,000, today it is 10,000 naira. So another way to save costs will be to put less pressure on using your gas cookers and instead cook things like beans or thick meat cuts in pressure pots. And while you're at it, those of you that like to buy your fish, your snail, your shrimp, every single thing from the frozen section of the supermarket, you might as well take the opportunity to buy your fresh produce from the local market. For example, I bought 40 pieces of snails at 30,000 naira. On the other side, a pack of snail in the supermarket that contains about 6 pieces of snails for 7,500. If you do the division, you will get about 1,250 naira, right? Now, if you were to buy 40 pieces of snails from the same supermarket, let's multiply 40 pieces of snails by 1,250, you get 50,000 naira. Now, the difference in buying from your supermarket versus buying from your local market is about 20,000 naira. That is 20,000 naira that you could have used or put towards something else. So the last and final point would be to tailor your meals to the season. For instance, there's no reason why you want to cook a very big pot of stew in the dry season. You already know that the price of tomatoes will be jacked up. So I'll give you 3 options on how you can easily adapt to whatever situation. The first one will be to wait until it's the season of tomatoes. The second one will be to pre-buy your tomatoes in bulk, blend, and then freeze away. Then each time you need to make maybe your pastas or your stews or jollof rice, you can then defrost it and then make whatever you need to make. And then the final option will be to, if you're unable to buy any of these items in bulk, what you can do is then switch to non-tomato based sauces like your Alfredo pastas, your coconut curry sauces, or your chicken casserole sauce. So let me know in the comment section which of these tips were helpful, and I also like to know some of your tips, so make sure you leave your comments in the section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.